The Steady Hand is the latest weapon from Iron Banner to get the random roll treatment, and what better time than now, considering that, like I've said many times now, the 120 RPM hand cannons are top meta picks. I've said that so many times now, but I feel like I'm still doing a double take every time I say it. I never thought I'd be saying those words, but here we are, and I'm really happy about it. Anyways, the Steady Hand is probably the most consistent legendary 120 RPM aggressive hand cannon. And I'd say out of all our non-sunset options, this is the legendary 120 RPM that comes the closest to feeling as consistent as Sturm, which I've expressed in the past is, in my opinion, the best 120 RPM hand cannon. I'm sure what many of you guys want to know is what the best rolls are on this weapon and the best perks to achieve, and why exactly those perks are so good that it can rival Sturm. So let's talk about our perks available on this gun. In our first trait perk slot, we have Quick Draw, Outlaw, Slide Shot, Killing Wind, Zen Moment, and Moving Target. In our second trait perk slot, we have Swashbuckler, Wellspring, Mulligan, Snapshot, and the 2 Iron Banner specific perks, Iron Gaze and Iron Grip. For a quick comparison to True Prophecy, as you can probably tell, there is a wider assortment of really desirable perks on this weapon that all seem to aim to pretty drastically improve your consistency. True Prophecy has a lot of range boosts like Rangefinder and Opening Shot, and as much as Opening Shot is a consistency boost as well, we don't really need to worry about range, in my opinion, so much on these hand cannons since they already have so much to begin with. Not to say it isn't valuable, but I think that it might be worth boosting other aspects of the weapon, and that's what the Steady Hands perk set of traits allows us to do, I think. True Prophecy also has explosive rounds, which again is another range style boost. It has Rampage, which is a better damage boost than Swashbuckler, but again, I don't think lethality and that lethal potential is the name of the game with the Steady Hand. It's all about consistency and boosting that in every way. And yes, True Prophecy does have Elemental Capacitor, which is great as a free stat bonus, but it's less valuable now because it doesn't work with stasis subclasses. So now that we know our trait perks and how they kind of compare to the other main 120 hand cannon that people are using right now, let's talk a bit more about stats. The Steady Hand has some pretty great stats overall with some really nice stat boosts. It has pretty exceptional aim assist with 70 aim assist, and it has slightly higher range and stability than the True Prophecy, although it does lack a bit in handling and reload, but that's okay, I think, because we have things like Quick Draw at our disposal to boost that. Not to mention that aside from the usual sights available, it also has Ricochet rounds, which is one of the best stat boosts in the game. Of course, Ricochet rounds being so valuable because it's a boost to both your range and stability, 2 of our most key stats. And True Prophecy actually doesn't have this available. I mentioned it already, but of course, Quick Draw is the best way to mitigate the slightly subpar handling stat by dialing that to 100 just by getting the perk, but we also have other stat boosts, things like Moving Target to boost our aim assist even more without the need of targeting mods, or still stacks with targeting mods. And it's even worth exploring Iron Grip to get a bonus 20 stability, which is massive for the cost of a lot of reload, of course, but that can be mitigated through different options, whether it be exotics, hand cannon loader mods, or even just the hunter dodge. Honestly, there are quite a few avenues you can take the role of this weapon depending on what you value and the consistency that you're looking to improve on. In my opinion, we should be looking to boost stability as much as we can. And this is even for mouse and keyboard players. I've been seeing a lot of mouse and keyboard players mention that these hand cannons, for whatever reason or another, actually have a pretty good deal of recoil. And because they have already such great range inherently, then boosting stability and handling is the next best thing to be doing to overall make the hand cannon feel its best. Feel wieldy in gunfights, allows you to consistently land shots, but still have a good ceiling with its responsiveness and how fast you can swap between your weapons depending on the engagement. And if you aren't quite sold yet on these hand cannons' inherent range performance and the fact that you might not need to invest in it, my Steady Hand with 71 range currently only gets damage drop off after 40 meters. That's already an insane amount of range, and it can still 3-tap with 3 critical hits up until 43 meters. For reference, to compare that to Sturm, which has 93 range, Sturm gets 44 meters before experiencing damage drop-off. That's only really a 4 meter difference in terms of when you encounter damage drop off. Now, before there's the possibility of anyone saying that range doesn't matter on 120 RPM hand cannons because Sturm's only getting 4 more meters of range from a difference of 20 range stat, please, for the love of the cones, remember that range helps your accuracy. It affects your accuracy cone, and it also affects how persistent your aim assist is at longer ranges so that it doesn't drop off. Without the mumbo jumbo, it is in fact adding to consistency in some way or another. I just think that it's not as impactful when we're crafting a legendary hand cannon roll. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back on topic. So in my opinion, stability and handling is what we want to go for on the steady hand. We want to boost those things as much as possible. So on my ideal rolls, I would say you want either steady hand sights or fast draw sights, depending on the perks that you'll want later on in your trait slots, and you'll indefinitely want ricochet rounds. I'd also recommend either a stability or a handling masterwork, but honestly, a reload masterwork might not be terrible either. It's believed that the aggressive hand cannons or aggressive frame weapons inherently have high caliber rounds, but that's actually an option on this weapon as well. So if you're willing to experiment and forego your stability boost from ricochet rounds, you could actually try out high cals as well. I think there are two main routes to this weapon. It's whether you're going to get quick draw or you're going to go for moving target. Yes, there are other decent trait perks, like Killing Wind is okay, but I dislike the fact that you have to get a kill for a handling buff when you have quick draw readily available, and like I said, you don't really need more range with these hand cannons. They have plenty to begin with. And I guess I'll give an honorable mention to Slide Shot just because it's nice to avoid reloading, and if you really want to completely max out on the handling on this thing. If you're going for quick draw, you without a doubt want to go for the steady hand sight. You want to boost your stability as much as possible. But if what's more important to you is your ability to play cover more effectively and you're strafing in and out of that, as well as your ability to head headshots, moving target might be for you since it allows you to boost those things. And if you do want moving target as much as steady hand is still great, you might be interested in fast draw, which is a boost to handling and still a slight boost to stability. For our second trait perk, I think Snapshot and Iron Grip are the best options. Sure, Swashbuckler and Wellspring are decent perks as well, but I think Swashbuckler is much more of a quick play 6s type perk, and it does have a resilience threshold. 5 resilience will stop the 2-tap you get off of 1 stack, so I don't really like that so much. If you want that, just get a True Prophecy with Rampage. And Wellspring I find too slight or not enough of a benefit considering you have to get a kill to make use of it. I'd rather for this weapon just go all into consistency, neutral perks that are always active that ensure the best performance with the weapon. Remember, when you're playing survival or trials against players at an equal or greater skill level than yourself, getting kills is going to be harder and harder, and they will be aware of when you have a damage perk and they're going to play around it to avoid you being able to use it well against them. So for our trait perk combos, number 1 I think is Quick Draw and Iron Grip. Quick Draw is going to give you max handling. Iron Grip is going to give you a massive boost to your stability, plus 20, at the cost of a lot of your reload. It'll reduce your reload. I think the lowest it'll bring it to is 10 reload speed. And to be honest, you might be surprised that this isn't actually as slow as you might think, which of course makes this perk really beneficial. The base reload speed of this weapon, with the 28 reload stat, is a 153 frame reload. Now, when you add on Iron Grip and reduce that to 10 reload speed, it is now a 173 frame reload. If you add 1 hand cannon loader mod to the 10 reload stat Iron Grip reload, you now have a 138 frame reload. That's faster than even the base reload on the weapon. So it's actually not bad. This is a top tier perk to be getting on this weapon. All it's going to require from you is to invest a hand cannon loader mod, which I don't think is a tall ask, especially when it's for plus 20 stability, which is going to maintain your aim assist cone even better and your recoil pattern to ensure that you keep hitting headshots and consistently land shots. It's just crazy consistent. If you are opting in for moving target because that's what you value, I think moving target and Snapshot is a very natural pairing. You can go for Iron Grip as well, and that'd be good. You're getting a wider aim assist cone, of course, from moving target. You can enhance that with some helmet targeting perks, and of course the high stability stat and gain from iron grip will maintain your aim assist cone as best as possible through your gunfights. I think snapshot's just a naturally nice pairing because it does mitigate the ADS speed of the weapon, provides it with a little bit more of a responsive, snappy feeling when you're looking to engage in gunfights, so I think that's good overall. But either of these perks with moving target are great. So now that we've finally gone through all the possibilities and what they mean, in my opinion, the best role possible is steady hand ricochet rounds, either quick draw and iron grip, or moving target and snapshot, or moving target and iron grip. Personally, I think stability is the masterwork to be prioritizing, otherwise reload is nice as well, and handling if you're not taking quick draw. For controller players, I would suggest kitting this with a counterbalance mod as 85 recoil direction, and with a counterbalance mod it takes it to 100, which is on par with Sturm, and it is noticeably better in my experience. And since you only need one headshot, I don't think that Icarus is as valuable, because in my experience with this weapon, I was able to hit body shots or land shots pretty consistently in the air with this, even without Icarus. This would give us the stats of 69 range, 62 stability, and that's 82 if you're choosing iron grip, 38 handling, and that's of course 100 if you're choosing quick draw, 28 reload, 70 aim assist, and that's 80 if you're choosing moving target. Those are monstrous stats, insane stats. If we compare that to Sturm, of course Sturm has more range, 93 range, but we talked about the impact of that. Sturm has 56 stability versus our 62 or 82 with iron grip, 77 handling versus our 100 if we're choosing quick draw. Of course it'll be higher than 38 if not. 37 reload versus our base 28 reload. Of course that'll be 37 versus our 10 reload if we're choosing iron grip, and 50 aim assist versus 70 or potentially 80 with moving target. The steady hand has comparable and better stats in every most important category for the consistency of a weapon. Comparable range, higher stability, and much higher aim assist. And when we add on a counterbalance mod, it's on par for recoil direction, both having 100, not to mention when we add on helmet targeting mods, it'll boost not only the aim assist more, but allow us to match the accuracy of Sturm, because helmet targeting mods do boost accuracy, which is the only thing we'd be lacking for consistency from the range stat. The only real cost here to this weapon overall, in my opinion, is its reload, and honestly, I don't think that's worth worrying about when you're getting such insane consistency in nearly every other stat that matters. This is, I think, the most consistent legendary hand cannon, maybe the most consistent hand cannon in the game right now. Of course, if you are investing in moving target, you are giving up handling in comparison to Sturm as well, which is worth thinking about. However, for me, who uses moving target, I do use dexterity perks, which help mitigate that just a little bit. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was a lot to talk about with this weapon, because I do think this weapon is game changing. I think the consistency, as I've said so many times, is off the charts. I really recommend grinding Iron Banner for one. I'm not going to keep you guys much longer, but if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you enjoyed this video, I appreciate if you consider subbing to the channel, as it does help us on our goal to 100 subscribers. And if interested, I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Drewskis. If you'd like to hang out with me, links in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.